Nestlé Malaysia entered 2016 on a high note with earnings that weren't only impressive but remarkable considering it came from a high base. But we asked Managing Director Alois Hofbauer what happens when the party stops. Do you think the double-digit growth is sustainable for the rest of the year?
I have to say we are very, very happy with the results. Just think about it. Last year, the first quarter, we came in on a high base. That was before GST. So there was a lot of advanced buying, and we would have been happy if we would have come on level field, but we didn't come on level field only. We came actually with good growth of 3%, and profitability was also very, very healthy. Now, is it sustainable? I have to say a good start is already something which motivates everybody, and we believe that we see a little bit the clouds moving out and the sun coming in. So if you ask me about the future of or the outlook for 2016, I think 2016 should be still a challenging year, still a tough year, but I guess I'm quite positive about 2016.
So we saw some headwinds, especially after the implementation of GST, and in terms of consumer sentiment, it was pretty weak last year. Yeah. What actually fueled the growth for Nestlé in the first quarter of this year?
Two things. We worked very, very, very hard on cost discipline. We tried to keep our prices stable, and as I said in previous discussions, we wanted to pass price increases only as a last resort, and we've been able to do so. So there's a lot of price stability out there for consumers. But the more important one, and that also you can see, we have invested tremendously into innovation. A lot of the growth coming in the first quarter and also already in the second, on the last quarter of 2015 was coming out of new products. So new sources of growth, which is beautiful because we're opening up new potentials, and we have invested a lot into new areas. We invested in new product offerings, but also in new manufacturing capabilities.
Now, MIA released some figures just probably last week. They say CSI climbed about 9.1 points in first quarter, but it's still below the threshold of consumer confidence. Do you think consumer sentiment is back to the market?
What I see is that consumer sentiment starts to get better. It's not yet at the all-time highs, and we'll still have a way to go. But we can see, because we are on a daily business, right, on a daily consumption business, that there seems to be more confidence coming into the market. People have get used to the GST. As I said, as a company, we try to provide the best value for money, and that is appreciated by the consumer.
So export business as well recorded a double-digit growth in the first quarter of this year. Is the increase due to a result of a lower ringgit?
The ringgit plays partially a role for us because our export is to affiliated company. And what is more important for us is that in these markets, we export a lot to ASEAN. The consumer demand is back on the rise. So you can see that very important markets for us, the Philippines, Indonesia, are really growing again in 2016. Already started to grow in the end of 2015. And that really helped us to come in with a fantastic. We had an export growth in the first quarter of 12%. I think this is very, very good. It's very, very encouraging, and it looks like that we see a good growth in these markets, and that helps us to accelerate on the export side.
How much are the export businesses contribute to Nestlé Malaysia revenue?
Around 20%. So 80% is domestic, and 20% is export.
So, and how much more do you think you can grow this segment?
Well, I think it depends very much on the consumer sentiment in these markets. They seem to be good, they seem to be strong. So I hope that we can keep the positive momentum going.
So talking about innovation, just now you mentioned that for the first quarter, a lot of all these revenue profit, they are coming from the new products. So for this year, what are the products Nestlé Malaysia is going to launch?
Well, we started off the year strong. We started off with different offerings. For example, we brought in a new trend. There's a new trend in the beverage world, that is coconut. We came in with coconut-based Nescafe products. We came in also with products which are helping consumers to deal on a daily diet with cholesterol. So very, very different offerings. And as I said, this is only the beginning. That's only the first 3 months. There's a lot in the pipeline. So you'll see a lot of good news, very consumer relevant products coming from Nestlé in the coming months.
But how much Capex are you planning to allocate this year?
This year we will allocate around 120 million, 120 to 130 million on Capex. But remind you that in the last few years we have spent 1.5 billion. So we went just through in 2015 and before a massive investment cycle. Only the last 2-3 years we spent 600 million. We built a new factory last year. We extended our confectionery business. We extended our culinary business. So we're getting out of a massive 1.5 billion cycle. And we continue to invest in 2016 as well.
So we talked about innovative products. Do you think these will actually be the key driver for Nestlé Malaysia this year?
It's not only new products, it's also our core business has to contribute to the growth. And as long as this goes hand in hand, the growth rates will be, I would say, very, very solid in 2016.
What's the outlook for food and beverage industry this year, and how challenging can this industry be this year?
I think what you see is you will see still relatively slow growth. That means that we will have all the work towards to give offerings to consumers which they will value. So pricing will remain an important tool, but at the same time also we have to come with new offerings. Overall, competition will remain very, very, very fierce, that is clear. But the beautiful thing is in 2015, when the slow growth was still there, we talk about 3% growth of every food and beverage market. We as a company were outgrowing it by almost a double margin. We grow, according to Nielsen, 6%. That helped us to gain a lot of market share and brought in new consumers to our offerings.
Do you think people actually spend more and they cut down buying big ticket items? They spend more on nutrition products. That's why Nestlé can see, such a huge jump in the first quarter this year, and also last year it was a high single-digit growth.
What you see is the Malaysian consumers are very, very smart consumers. They really look at value. If they can see that what they get before or after the GST, and after the GST even more so, that the value of the products they buy is there, they'll not cut down on this one. And what we do is, first of all, we try to keep price stability. We try not to raise prices as much as we can. And at the same time, try to bring in more value to our products. Upgrade the quality, upgrade the offerings. And I think that is what Malaysian consumers see when they look at our products, and that's what they value, and that's why we have been doing pretty well. And specifically now the first quarter has been a very pleasant, positive development.
As people adjust to life post-GST, Nestlé is banking on innovative products to make sure that consumers keep coming back.